VGK's top draft pick, Trevor Connelly, missed this week's World Junior Summer Showcase due to an injury. We'll tell you more about it next on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. And please make sure that you subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn and start making the most out of this summer. News on Mr. Broccolini to start things off here on this Tuesday edition. I know you like that nickname. Trevor Connelly missed this week's World Junior Summer Showcase out with an unknown injury. So Chris Peters of Flow Hockey was telling me this weekend that Connelly didn't participate in all of the drills here in Las Vegas at development camp. He was still nursing an injury that Connelly, I guess, suffered while training for the combine. And again, that according to Chris Peters from Flow Hockey. Of course, we're not going to get any information from VGK, or the NHL tries to hide injuries and all of that. But there were reports that Connelly looked faster than any other VGK prospect in development camp, but he was shut down after the first scrimmage. Either he aggravated his previous injury or suffered another injury, or perhaps, I don't know, what are your thoughts? Did VGK say that they saw enough out of Trevor Connelly in development camp? And do we have concern over an injury?
I mean, concern over a player who is at best 2 to 3 seasons away from sniffing Brendan Brisson level of activity. There you go, Tony. Good start.
I didn't know what you were sniffing there from Brisson. Okay.
Sniffing Brendan Brisson's level of early activity as far as his NHL career goes. So is this a major deal? I mean, I guess maybe it could be if it's something that lingers and winds up being some type of injury that just kind of keeps going back. But I mean, I don't think this is going to end up being much of anything. It would have been nice maybe to see a little more from Connelly during the VGK camp than obviously the activities that are going on right now. The early reports were very good about Connelly on the ice, and it's certainly something to be excited about from a skill standpoint for the team, at least down the road. But again, we're 3-4 years really from him possibly making an impact. And if he does make an impact earlier, all the better. That means he's just a spectacular talent, and we'll see what level of contributions he can have when he's ready and healthy.
Yeah, to me, though, again, I think that everything around this draft pick, due to the controversy and such, is going to be magnified. I think that everything around him, we're going to keep an eye on. You're just hoping to get Connelly right, perhaps, for the future and for his freshman season at Providence. I guess that would be part of the thought process. And the showcase, by the way, is an evaluation period for the 2025 World Juniors. So I think, it's a big miss there that he's not healthy. But nonetheless, again, they're banking on his future.
For sure. I mean, obviously, his VGK future is what is going to matter, obviously, in the eyes of the Golden Knights. Of course, he wants to go and have a good year, obviously, in school. And hopefully, we'll see. I mean, is he the type of player that's going to play 1 year in school? I think it's like what Celebrini and Will Smith did. I think they were 1, maybe 2 years most. And then, boom, here they are already in the, at least Celebrini. I don't know if Will Smith is going to be in the NHL right away next year, but definitely Celebrini. So, yeah, I mean, is there a path where Connelly, just crushes it for 1 season at school and then comes to the NHL as a 19/20-year-old? I don't know. We're good at birthdays in the show, so we have to learn about Trevor Connelly's birthday, I guess, and see.
I think he's in Aries. No, I don't know. I just threw that out there.
But yeah, so we'll see how that all shakes out. And yeah, it would be nice if he can have 1 healthy season, obviously, in school, and healthy, I would say, on the ice and off the ice for, of course, obvious reasons.
So Connelly, I did a little bit of research here. He was injured in a game in the USHL for Tri-Cities back in January. So he was hooked on a breakaway, Chris, helped off the ice, could not put any weight on his right leg. The x rays came back negative. He returned, I think, 2 or 3 days later. And this could be an aggravation, perhaps. And again, we're just guessing here, but it could be an aggravation of a right leg injury. We don't know if it's upper or lower body with this current injury. But again, maybe there is some concern about injuries for the number 1 draft pick for VGK.
Man, researching injuries that happened a while back that really no one talks about, talking to other people about prospects. Careful, Tony. People are gonna call you.
Don't confuse me with a journalist.
Yeah, no, they might use that J word around you. No, I mean it's very interesting, and this is something important that is worth bringing up because, I mean, listen. Hopefully, this is a non-starter, right? Hopefully, this is a one and done type of situation, and Connelly, has a very healthy future and everything in front of him. On the flip side, we've seen this with many NHL athletes and athletes in general where, they just have a hard time staying healthy and stuff. And the hope is that this is not an early indicator. Again, we're way early as far as even projecting what type of career from a health perspective that Connelly is going to have. But it is noteworthy that at this early stage of his NHL career, as he blossoms to that point, at least, that there are some issues. Good thing is he's an 18-year-old. He's got plenty of time, obviously, to get his body in the right shape. And of course, it all starts. Hopefully, he'll be good to go for his school. Now, if for some reason he starts missing games at that level, then obviously we got something else to talk about.
So another theory here, just stick with me. There's a lot of media attention around this World Juniors Showcase. So VGK, of course, they're going to be very cautious about the way that they get out into the hockey world, Trevor Connelly. Perhaps just they shut him down for a variety of reasons outside of an injury. Maybe he's about 80% and they're just not going to take that risk, nor are they going to want him to deal with any more media attention.
I don't know what type of media attention he would get.
The Canadian
stage
media
like
is there.
this.
Canadian media is there.
Right? Oh no doubt. Right? I don't know
the U.S.
if
hockey media is there.
No, I mean, even Ryan Reeves made the comment about Canadian hockey media being different than the United States media as far as just the way they, I guess, approach their jobs, putting it respectfully. So yeah, I mean, he might have gotten grilled a little bit out there. I honestly don't know if that is the place to bring up his past, but again, media, obviously different people work differently. So maybe they would have. Could VGK have shut him down to avoid that drama? Maybe. I don't know what control VGK has right now over Connelly at this moment.
Ton.
Maybe
all of it, except for his answer about Broccolini. They have absolute control over every move that he makes currently. For sure.
Fair enough. Then if that's the case, if he's 80% and they shut him down, I mean, I think taking away his past, I think even if someone is 80, 85% right now, I don't think there is any reason to be pushing. He's not entering a juniors competition in the next 3 weeks. He's not doing anything as far as competitive hockey goes for a little while. So, I mean, if he's not 95%, I don't know if there's any reason for him or anyone to be on the ice. Could the Golden Knights have wanted to, keep things a little bit quieter because of his situation? Sure. But in the same breath, I think the Golden Knights understand they made the pick. They own the pick. They own the situation. And it's their bed. Now they got to sleep in it. And I think there's no better way than to handle Connelly's passes, to let him get in front of the microphone and talk about it and answer for it and hold himself accountable. And, this is obviously where you really can see the character that he is. We haven't heard him in a while, talk. I mean, this came up a little bit, I believe, during the draft, and he gave the right answers and such. And honestly, I don't know what he could even say in front of a microphone right now. Like, if he can basically lay low for the next, 8 to 14 months, however long it's going to be, without having any issues come up from a social media standpoint, then great. That's a good thing. Can he do that? I think he can. But obviously his character and anyone's character, just simply takes time to develop and learn about.
One other note about the World Junior Summer Showcase, VGK's Matthew Cataford, I saw was on the Canadian roster, but I haven't seen any pub about him, and so we'll try to get more information. But there's another player, perhaps. He's just talking about in a couple of years being up with the VGK, and do you think they're fast tracking him?
I don't know if it's hard. It's too early to tell if he's being fast tracked. I think he played most of his school or juniors. I don't know.
He was in the queue, I think.
He was in the queue. There you go.
Your
I don't remember off the top of my head, but my point is,
you should know that.
He did play. I love the queue. Point is, I did watch him a few games, obviously with Henderson last year, and there was just something different about him. Something different about the type of game he played versus the other players on the ice, and I definitely think Cataford, we'll see obviously how he is at a full season, of course, at the American League level, and where it goes from there. Could he be a dark horse to play 15 or greater games for the Golden Knights? I don't know. I don't know if he'll make that list, but
two segments out.
You like that?
Wow, that's a massive.
I read a book on the plane.
Okay, coming up next is Patrick Laine worth the risk? That's the hot topic. We'll get to that when we return right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. All this summer, FanDuel is hooking you up, all customers, with a boost or a bonus on the daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So you need to head on over to FanDuel.com/lockedon and start making the most out of your summer. And they do have some lines up. Of course, the NFL is back this week on Thursday. That's hard to believe. And we've got the Bears, a 1.5-point favorite over the Texans, and a total of 32 in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. And you could also go at it and bet on all the Olympic games. I think the USA men's basketball team favored by 30 and a hook over South Sudan. And so those are some lines there that you should check out on FanDuel. And FanDuel is also the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, and please make sure to tune in. And some fans were pretty upset that we recorded last Friday's show for WTF. One in particular, we'll save that for this week's WTF. Fridays are What the Friday, and we get a lot of your comments instead of playing a stupid mailbag game. And then on Saturdays, of course, it's the Chris and Chris Jr. show. So, Chris, Columbus Blue Jackets, Patrick Laine has been now cleared to return from the NHL and the NHLPA Player Assistance Program. It's a mouthful. Laine still recovering from his shoulder surgery as well. He'd be the perfect Golden Knight that you could just stash on LTIR for a while. Teams are now allowed to contact Laine. CBJ is trying to unload him. He's asked for a trade, and he is a high risk and high reward type of a player. Do you think that VGK has spoken to Laine's people?
I mean, first statement, you said high risk, high reward. I don't know if it's high reward necessarily, and that's not a terrible thing. Topped out at 70 points in 82 games with the 17-18 Winnipeg Jets, and then he did go 21-22, so that would be the COVID shortened season. 56 games, 56 points, so point per game pace. That's who he is. I mean, he is a 50 to 60 point player, assuming he can get in the 70 point or in the 70 game range. The Golden Knights just lost a 50, 60 point player, and Jonathan Marchessault. So Patrick Laine certainly can fit that bill. Next question, did they contact Laine? I don't know directly. VGK kicks the tires on everything. So I would assume there was some level of discussions that have happened. And I think, maybe the question to Columbus is, hey, what are you looking for this guy? And this is obviously where things get interesting. Laine makes $8.7 million. That is a gross overpay based on a 50, 60 point score. The plus side, he's 26 years old. So he's really just coming into his prime. Does he become a 75-point player, and can he stay on the ice? That's obviously a risk for someone to take. Now, I have to assume if the Golden Knights at least are involved, there's going to be salary retention somewhere, whether it's the Blue Jackets retaining or whether there's a broker coming in and someone getting compensated either by Columbus or Vegas to, take on a little bit of contract for the next 2 seasons, because it would be for the 24-25 and 25-26 season that Laine is under contract for. So if they can get his salary down in the $5 million range, then obviously, now there might be something to talk about.
Was it drugs and alcohol? I don't know.
No idea.
I can't recall.
No
Yeah,
idea. Focus on mental health is all I saw out there. And, I think the focus obviously is hopefully everything is going well for him. I would have to think if it was along the lines of what you suggested, I think stuff like that kind of comes out. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know his situation. And I think just the primary focus, probably where we should have started the discussion is, you hope everything is well in his personal life and obviously mental health. And then, hockey is secondary.
Okay. So cap hit of 8.7. VGK still is about 3.6 million.
Oh God, no. It's like $1 million.
I just saw a number. It was $1 million, I thought, and then I saw another number this weekend that said 3.6.
No, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It's you got to find that the next good.
Ever since Cap Friendly went away, man, I'm just screwed. I
gotta find. I put a tweet out there a while back that said, "Hey, this is the next best thing." I forgot what it was called. I go back.
No,
it wasn't even Puckpedia. Puckpedia is all right. It's there.
Okay,
but this one even looked better. So
8.7. 8.7. You get some salary retention. You're going to have to make a trade and get rid of, and this could be the Theodore move. I don't know if they were to go and try to proceed. And then you hope that CBJ, with a lot of cap space. Okay, I've been way off on my numbers, but I thought they had around 10 million in cap space currently. They can definitely take on and retain some of Laine's salary from everything that I'm thinking of. But 8.7, I was kind of shocked that he was making that much. And I did remember when he signed the contract there with Columbus, I thought that they overpaid him, but not by that margin.
10.8 for the Blue Jackets, according to Puckpedia. Golden Knights right now are negative.
I'm close for once. I'm close.
VGK is negative like 3.6. You take Robin Leonard, and obviously that puts them.
Wait, VGK is in the minus. Oh, they're negative 3.6.
They're negative 3.6.
Okay,
but again,
I had plus 3.6.
You factor Robin Leonard's LTIR against that, and they're
is he coming back? Is he coming back?
Yes, he's coming back. Yes, he's coming back. It's going to be awesome.
Someone tagged me in something that said that he's going to be back in September.
No, he's not coming back.
There's some wacky reports here. People trying to get those clicks.
So the bigger question right now is, what are the Blue Jackets going to be looking for? Shea Theodore. I don't know if Shea Theodore is what they're looking for right now. Blue Jackets aren't competing for a Stanley Cup. What's that?
Theodore plus.
Sure, but the Golden Knights don't have a lot of plus. That's the issue right now.
I mean, all they got was 18 points out of Laine this past season. So if they could get any kind of scoring there and save some money.
Sure, but I mean, there's going to be retention somewhere if the Golden Knights are involved in this. So, Shea Theodore 5.2, I think, is what his cap hit is, 5 or 5.2. But the Columbus Blue Jackets are looking more or less for draft picks. Golden Knights don't have a first pick, I think, until the 2027 season, so we can forget about that. 26-27 season. Are they going to take a package of second-round picks? I don't know. Do the Golden Knights want to dust off a package of second-round picks? Are the Golden Knights going to, go into the Lucas Cormier world and some of their prospects? I'm not going to say like a Brendan Brisson necessarily, but, or a Cataford or something like that. Is that the trade? I don't know. Shea Theodore would be the easiest piece to move to help obviously create cap space for the Golden Knights, but Shea Theodore helps you win right now. A healthy Shea Theodore can be an elite defenseman as far as the scoring side of the position goes. Can he stay healthy? That's another argument for another show that we've had a bunch of times so far. But I don't know if Shea Theodore would fit into the Blue Jackets' plans. Now, if the Blue Jackets do look at Shea Theodore as a long-term top-level defenseman, they're willing to give him that $7-8 million contract. Okay, great. Shea Theodore, Patrick Laine, a draft pick and a throw-in and call it good. Yeah, absolutely. I would be in for that all day because, simply put, that replaces Marchessault, hopefully to a degree, as far as the scoring output goes. And then now all of a sudden this becomes the Riley Smith for Barbashev situation. Barbashev, obviously, many years younger than Riley Smith, same salary, same everything. Obviously, the Golden Knights were on the better side of that circumstance. If the Golden Knights did somehow get Laine on the roster and Shea Theodore and a couple other pieces was the other side of that, then yeah, I think the Golden Knights certainly have something to, a much better foundation to go off of next season.
Yeah, and why do we mention Laine and VGK? Well, because everyone is in play.
Everyone is in play. Oh, no doubt.
Everyone's in play. Everyone is in play. But again, a top line that would include Eichel, Barbashev, and Laine. Now you're talking. Now you're talking about getting back into contention. And I was not making a joke here about the LTIR material for Laine if he does get traded to Las Vegas, because he has a broken clavicle that he's still recovering from, along with the off the ice issues that he suffered back in December, Chris, and he's still recovering. And he also says he wants a fresh start somewhere. So this could be, a lot of times we kick the tires on some of these players, but this is more of a logical fit if VGK really does want to pursue this, I think, than people might imagine.
I think it's better than the Mitch Marner situation as far as making the pieces work.
They're going to get both. They're getting both.
And Trevor Zegras?
And perhaps Zegras, too.
No, I mean, listen, it certainly it makes sense. The only issue, there's a lot of issues, but I think the main issue right now is you look at what happened in free agency. You look at the deals that Stamkos and Chandler Stevenson got. I'm not going to say gross overpays. We don't know how they're going to perform, but at face value, they're gross overpays, and other players obviously got significantly greater than what their projections were and what any reasonable projection would have been. Why am I bringing this up now? Because there could be a bidding war somehow breaking out for Patrick Laine. Well, okay, we got this package coming from Anaheim. Vegas, what are you going to do? And then all of a sudden here comes Detroit and Ottawa and just throwing teams out there randomly. And you never know who's offering what. And McCrimmon, this is a different side of McCrimmon. McCrimmon is playing a little more of a reserved poker game right now. He's not being aggressive in the early stages of the tournament. He's milking the chip stack a little bit and trying to wait and see what situations present themselves. Patrick Laine is a situation that has presented itself. I don't think, though, that McCrimmon is willing to, boom, shiny new toy, go and get it. It needs to make sense. And I think McCrimmon believes in the core of the Golden Knights to at least tread water for a chunk of the season, and then you wait and see what happens, whether it's a trade deadline circumstance. Like you said, the LTIR, I know we joke about it, but it's happened for 3 seasons. So it is a reality that something could happen with somebody. It's a reality.
This can make a lot of sense, truly.
No, it can.
If there is salary retention, about how much do you think a team like Columbus could shave off of that $8.7 million?
If they can take on 1.5 and a mystery team can take on another 1.5, now all of a sudden the Golden Knights are on the hook for 5.2, which is the exact number that Shea Theodore makes.
Yeah, that would be good. Coming up next, we've got some VGK long shots to play 15 or more games this upcoming
15
season.
Or more game, not games.
Game, I know. Apparently. I was trying to read off your graphic. We're good. He's back from VGK. We'll be back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights.
Been a long day.
Welcome back on Locked On Golden Knights. This edition, a refresh edition of Locked On VGK. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. Please make sure that you subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel, where you can find sometimes the Chris and Chris Jr. show. Mr. Baked Alaska, Chris Golick. Welcome back. Yeah, from Alaska. Welcome back. Nice trip. Saw you on the boat. The best part of that trip was your tweet, though.
Which one?
I'm on a cruise.
Oh,
I'm in Alaska.
I'm in Alaska. Ask me nothing. I thought you were going to talk about so we had an Airbnb in Vancouver the night before we jumped on the boats, and there was, we got some groceries sent over. There wasn't a lot, obviously. We only had one night in the Airbnb. So looking in the fridge for stuff to eat, and I find pizza. Like, it's 8 a.m. So I find this pizza from the night before. I'm like, okay, perfect. There's no juice, no nothing to drink. I didn't feel like drinking water. I wanted something carbonated. All we had is beer from the night before. So screw it. We're on vacation. I was
Why
putting
not?
back in Alaska, or no, putting back a red truck and some garlic
Red
cheese
truck.
pizza at 8 a.m. to start my vacation. It was perfect.
That's pretty good.
It was great.
So yeah, no, it looked like it was a lot of fun. But I went to the mailbox again yesterday. Still no postcard.
No postcard.
You know how pissed off I get that people don't send postcards anymore.
We don't
Talk
send
about
cards for
FOMO.
nothing. We don't send Christmas cards anymore.
Yeah, I would be like, you bastard! Why would you send me a postcard from Tahiti?
I gotta say, just real fast, if Cruz never done it before, exceeded every expectation that I could have possibly had. Just tremendous shout out to Royal Caribbean for the service that they offered. It was great being there with obviously family and everything. And yeah, and I guess
how much weight did you put on? Did you put on? Did you eat a lot?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. It was
did
a
you
lot.
eat a lot?
I
mean, that's all they talk about on cruises. Yeah. Nice.
Ate everything. It was great. Whipped cream with the waffles and the strawberries and the blueberry. And every morning, it was not every morning, but yeah.
Garlic after dark. We don't want
to
know about those stories. Okay.
It was good. It was good.
So
moving on.
We've got VGK long shots to play 15 or more games. So I guess you can start off. Here's my 3. I just went up and down the roster. Long shots. Well, Brendan Brisson played 15 games last season.
It's a long shot.
He's probably a chalk guy. Let me just deal with this, okay? I put so much effort into the first segment there that I kind of quit.
That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good.
Okay. So Mason Morelli played 9 games last season. Boy, I like this guy's game. I thought he gave VGK a little bit of a jump when he was in the lineup. So I'm going to go with
a little bit of sandpaper, a little bit of grit.
Yeah, a little grit, which they definitely were lacking. So 9 games. And then Lucas Cormier, who played 2 games last season. I think he's a shoo-in for 15. What would your odds be on Morelli and Cormier 15 plus?
Parlay?
A little parlay. I think they
plus
both
4,000, 40 to 1.
Oh, I'm taking it. That's
good action.
You booking the action?
Dollar max bet. Dollar max bet.
What were your thoughts? 15 or more?
Denisenko. I don't.
You love this guy.
It's not that I love him. I did love him, and I do like him a lot now. But it's just he hasn't shown he can do it at the NHL level, and this is really his what or get off the pot season right now as far as becoming an NHL player. He's an AHL player. He's a really good AHL player. Is he going to be Sheldon Rempel, or is he going to be, someone who like a Dorofeev who can finally figure it out? Obviously, we don't know. Morelli, I'm with you on. Cormier, I'm with you on. I just can't believe you didn't bring up Joe Fleming. That's your favorite.
I do like.
There was some really good content on the VGK Twitter handle. He was mic'd up for one of their scrimmages. He's a character. He's a fun dude.
Oh yeah,
he talks right away on the ice. Like he's. Keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on him.
Right, that was Fleming that had the penalty shot. That was awful. Yeah, the penalty shot on the only penalty of the game, and he just absolutely blew it. It was awful.
What about Cataford? Maybe Cataford could be. If you want to talk in the long shot category, there you go.
Oh, that's about 150 to 1.
I'll take it. I'll take that. And then I guess the last one I'll take. This is probably the chalkiest of them all. How about Akira Schmid, goaltender?
I was just going to say Schmid.
Yeah,
I was going to say Schmid because we know what happens with VGK goalies. Hey, if they get mismanaged, if they have 3 goalies that could play there and help out consistently, that's not bad. That's not bad. And I think Schmid's got upside. He does. Speaking of goalies, before I forget, we hate to have guests on the show because we like to hog the microphone ourselves. But Jordan Papirny re-signed with the Henderson Silver Knights. He signed with the Silver Knights.
He's on a Silver Knight contract this year. That's cool.
He's on a Silver Knight contract. So that's good news.
That's really good. I mean, we've been a friend of the program. I think he's our only guest we've ever had.
I think the only one that ever would accept our invitation.
I'm still working on one.
No, we're working on it. And then just one other note. I know another player that VGK, they were in the conversation, perhaps in the rumor mill. Martin Niches re-signed. Yeah, Niches just avoided
Niches.
I just said that, Niches, yeah. avoided arbitration with the Hurricanes and signed a 2-year, $13 million contract. I know folks were mentioning his
long term. I don't know what it is. They will not sign him long term for some reason.
Top 6 scorer. And yeah, I think, they need him. He's a good piece because he's pretty physical too. So I like his game.
6.5 AAV. It would have been nice to see Vegas make a play there.
I'm sure that they did try. I'm sure they tried. And a lot of those players, I think we need to definitely focus on the fact that a lot of the East Coast players do not want to venture west. They don't because of the travel. We're starting to learn that. That'd
be an interesting segment, looking up players who free agents who East Coast players who signed to play on the West Coast. It'd be interesting.
All right, man. That's in the parking lot.
Sounds like work. Journalist. Go ahead.
Yeah. No more journalism. You were gone for a week. That's it. It's my lone story for the month. Well, the month's almost over. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Of course, definitely our everydayers. You make this show tick. And thanks again for everyone for tuning in and for subscribing to Locked On Golden Knights, our YouTube channel. And please make sure that you download our podcast. We appreciate all the comments coming from everywhere. I'm sure we'll stir the pot today with more Connelly news and Laine and all that. So leave your comments wherever, on Twitter, on X at Locked On VGK, or again, we have our personal Twitter X handles right there on the screen. And don't forget Fridays, WTF, Saturdays, sometimes the Chris and Chris Jr. show. Thanks so much for tuning in. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please take care.